All right, welcome. Let's totally change how you look at the English exam. We're going to jump right into the one thing that trips up so many students, that dreaded comprehension passage.
Yeah, we've all heard this one, right? To finish faster, you gotta read faster. Especially when you glance at the clock and feel that exam pressure just building and building. It seems to make sense, doesn't it? But what if that's completely wrong? What if trying to save time by just skimming through everything is actually the biggest time waster of them all? Okay, let's really dig into this, because a slower approach, well, that might just be your secret weapon.
So let's kick things off by busting the biggest myth about comprehension passages.
You see, here's the problem. When you rush, you miss the point. It's almost guaranteed. And what happens next? You have to go back and read it again, and maybe a third time. And with every single reread, that stress, that panic, it just goes through the roof.
Okay, so if speed reading is the enemy, what's the solution? Let's talk about sharpening your axe.
I love this quote from Abraham Lincoln. It perfectly sums up our whole strategy. To save time when you're actually answering the questions, you have to invest time up front in really deeply understanding the passage on that first read. That's your axe sharpening time. So here's the deal. Your axe is your understanding, and you sharpen it by reading slowly and carefully. The real time savers, they aren't about skimming in the exam, nope. It's the stuff you do before, like beefing up your grammar, expanding your vocabulary, and just getting faster at writing. That way, once you've understood the text, the answers can just flow out of you.
All right, let's get practical. How do you actually read smart? Here's a 4-step game plan.
Okay, here it is, your 4-step process. Step 1, read the questions first. This tells your brain what to hunt for. Step 2, read the passage. Slowly. Yes, slowly. Step 3, as you read, underline keywords and phrases. And finally, step 4, learn to infer the meaning of words you don't know. Now, inferring. Don't panic when you see a big, scary word. Examiners put them there on purpose, to test you. Your job isn't to be a walking dictionary. It's all about using the sentences around it as clues to make a really good, educated guess about what it means.
Okay, now let's take this same smart thinking and apply it to what, for many of you, is the toughest part, the precis. That grid question. The secret to a killer precis isn't about what you add, it's about what you take away. Think of yourself as a sculptor. You're just chipping away all the extra stuff, the adjectives, the examples, the quotes, all of it, until you're left with the core idea, plain, direct, and powerful. Let's look at an example. The beautiful green garden attracted many visitors becomes the garden attracted many visitors. See that? We took out beautiful and green. And did the main idea change? Not one bit. That's the goal. Keep the substance, ditch the fluff. And what about figures of speech? Time flies like the wind. That's poetic, it's nice, but for a precis, it's just decoration. Your summary needs to be all business. So we strip that away and get right to the point. Time passes quickly. Simple, direct. And last but not least, you want to simplify those complicated sentences. Look at this. The boy who was injured in the fall, that whole long clause can be boiled down to one powerful word, injured. The injured boy. See how much cleaner that is? This is how you make every single word count. Okay, and here are the golden rules. Write them down, memorize them. You've got to write in the third person, use the past tense, no abbreviations, ever, and a huge pro tip, write the title last. Seriously, it'll just pop into your head once the summary's done. And the biggest rule of all, never copy-paste from the passage. That's a surefire way to lose marks. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the final mechanics of nailing that 50-word grid. 50. That is your magic number. Not 49, not 51. The grid is built for exactly 50 words. Precision here is absolutely key. Okay, if you remember one thing from this whole section, let it be this. Use a pencil first. I'm telling you, it is practically impossible to write a perfect 50-word summary on your first go. You're going to need to edit, add a word, cut 2 words. A pencil lets you do all of that without turning your answer sheet into a hot mess. So here's your foolproof method. Step 1, draft your summary in the grid with a pencil. Step 2, count the words, make your tweaks. Step 3, once it's exactly 50 words, go over it in pen. And finally, step 4, just erase any pencil marks left behind. This is your safety net. It keeps things clean, keeps you calm, and makes your final answer look super professional.
So, are you ready to stop rushing and start preparing? Because that's the big takeaway here, isn't it? Thoughtful, smart preparation will beat frantic speed every single time. The time you invest up front to really understand, that's what saves you time in the end. So, go sharpen your axe. You'll be ready to take on any passage with total confidence.